Hello and welcome to Why Wait Till Sunday. This is your Saturday Sleeper. So this is a fun little series we're doing in the off season to highlight guys who, for whatever reason, have fallen under the radar. Some of them are early breakouts that no one's had time to really digest yet. Some of them are, smaller school guys. And in the case of today, we've got a Power 5 running back who hasn't quite started yet in his college career. However, I think he's shown some very interesting things and is lining up to be the starter in 2021, should see the majority of the carries and also can catch a pass or two, as we will see. So who am I talking about? It's Mataeo Durant from Duke University. He is a rising true senior. This last season was his third year in college. And, he kind of popped for me. Honestly, I think the first time I really took a look at him was against FSU this year. And this is why I love DFS, because, you're trying to find value and you're going through, you're forced to look at games that you might not otherwise really look at, like Duke FSU, two awful teams with bad defenses. And so it seemed to me like it was a jackpot type game from a fantasy DFS perspective. So you're going down the depth chart. You want to try to find the value. And Durant really popped. He was averaging at the time over 6 yards per touch for Duke. And that was enough to get my attention, especially, playing a tournament or whatever and saying, okay, well, this seems to be like a big play guy and it's FSU, who's horrible. And let's take a look a little closer at Durant. So ended up playing him. He had a good game. And that's when I really started thinking about, who is this guy for Duke? Looked into it more. I mean, he was for 2 years in a row. Now, I know that yards per carry, yards per touch is not necessarily predictive. However, I do think it gives you a little bit of an idea of like what kind of back it is, especially when you compare that back to guys in their own system on their own team against the same opponents with the same offensive line. And for the last 2 years, Durant has had the highest yards per touch by almost a yard. This year was even more than that. He was at 6. The next closest guy on the team in terms of a running back was 4.2. I mean, that's just a really big difference there. So the starter, quote unquote, Deion Jackson, who I don't think is very good. But yeah, so I mean, and he did the same thing the year before, almost over a yard ahead of the next closest guy. So certainly interesting in saying, okay, he seems to be doing more with his touches on this, probably bad team, probably bad offensive line, but, is doing things with his touches. What is there something there? Of course, now we're going to get a look on tape of this guy and see for ourselves, was it luck? Is there anything there? And take a look. He's an important guy going into 2021, both for, say, I think he's probably rostered in many C2Cs, but maybe not. I mean, he was kind of a complete unknown heading into the year. He may have gotten picked up. Certainly any kind of C2C startups, I think you want to have this guy on your radar. And honestly, even Devy, a deep Devy league, maybe over 5 roster spots on your Devy. I guess you probably wouldn't want to take him this year in a Devy league unless you had, you'd probably have to have a lot of roster spots, because I think there are other guys with probably higher ceilings that you would want to stash. Certainly, though, the deep dynasty, where, 5th round pick, 6th round pick, when he comes up, it's just good to be aware of the name. Now, he won't be available, obviously, this year in dynasty rookie drafts, but will be going to the NFL, I'm almost certain. And it's good to have these names and have an idea for who this player is, so that you are not just getting on board when he's a rookie and the buzz is growing and all that. You want to know about him beforehand. So that's why we do the Sleeper Saturday. And let's take a look. So he is listed at 6'1", 195. And that's a problem, to be totally honest with you. That size would barely cut it as a receiver. It's not going to really cut it as a running back, especially at 6'1". So that means he's pretty skinny. We'll see that on tape too. but maybe that's an old weight. Some of these colleges don't always update as often as we would like. I think he needs at least to come in at like 205 by the time he gets to a combine. Now, he does have time to get there potentially if he really can pack on some pounds. But otherwise, that is a bit of a concern. But what we will see here is that he really, I'm sorry, blank there. He really plays much bigger than that 6'1", 195 frame. And I love that. That makes me excited about what Mataeo Durant can be. So I'm going to share my screen here. And we are going to get to it. And I really love doing this. So here we go. We're going to look at 3 games. First against UNC, then against, I believe it's Syracuse, then against Georgia Tech. And we'll just take it from here. They're on the 25-yard line. Looks at the beginning of a drive early on in the first quarter against UNC. Duke is already down 21-0. And here we go. Takes the handoff, bursts through a nice hole, makes the first guy miss, second guy miss, and he gets tackled by the safety. We're going to see this from the all 22 angle here. And the first hole is really big. There's nothing too impressive there. He's just running right through a nicely blocked hole towards the outside. But as you can see here, he's got one man to beat. And what I like to look at in these videos is, okay, anybody, honestly, he can run through this hole. This is not impressive. This is what a running back should do. But I don't know what the true definition statistically of yards created is. You see that thrown around. I think PFF will do that from time to time. But to me, after you get past this next, yard line here, after this hole, you've got a closing defender. To me, if he makes this guy miss and can get extra yards, that is yards created. This play was perfectly executed to put him on the outside in a one-on-one situation, and now he's got to make that guy miss for a big play. Otherwise, it's a good play, 5 yards. This is the key right here. What happens to this guy? And let's take a look what Durant can do. And also, you hear people talking about sometimes solving a problem. To me, this is Durant solving this defender right here. And so let's see what he can do. All right, so he does make one cut, and it is good enough to get around that safety. He's almost going perfectly horizontal here, and sometimes that can be very dangerous if you're not fast enough or twitchy enough to get away with it. So he's going to have to turn his body upfield to get past this guy. And he does with a little mini stiff arm. He gets past him and also eludes another guy grasping for his ankles. Ended up being about 25, 30-yard gain. I mean, that's what you want guys to do. Beat one-on-one opportunities, because most plays are set up, where every guy's not going to be blocked. Most plays are set up to put you in a position to beat one man. And he certainly did that there. So let's see what happens here. We got a handoff to pass blocking rep, and it's not too bad. He gets a hand on a guy. He does push him out behind the quarterback so the quarterback can release the ball. Not incredible, but not awful. So here we got a little swing pass. Quarterback's in danger. He catches it and runs straight forward. But this is what I was talking about. 195 pounds, catches the ball and just goes full head of steam and just levels basically a safety. He just levels him. And he does get tackled by another guy, but he completely shoulders down and just pops him. And Durant is still up at the end of the play, getting shoved out of bounds. We've got the next play here. It's going to be like a little sweep toss kind of thing. Almost a shovel. Not really a shovel pass. It's like a sweep toss, I guess. And so I really like this play. So he is, kind of running outside. The whole line is moving with him. They're all trying to block along the outside, and he's going to have to choose his hole here and, again, make a right decision. I think this play is going to show us some of the vision that Durant has. So he really smoothly kind of goes with the blockers here. You can tell here the tackle and I guess it's a guard. I don't know who the center and the guard is at this point because the offensive line has completely moved. But you've got two offensive linemen who are now outside the hash marks on the line of scrimmage. So the whole line has basically shifted downfield in their blocking assignments. And he has now found a hole here and really timed it perfectly. This was very smooth play from Durant. So he's going to cross it right at the 25-yard line. Then he's going to cut outside again. And finally, a couple guys, meet up with him. But that was a really nice play. And one of the best things to me is just the smooth. He doesn't try, to just like run as fast as he can from the onset of the play. You can see he catches this little toss here and really just watches. Now, boom, he made a cut and he burst through the hole, and that's about a 15-yard gain. Really nice to me. We got a pass blocking rep here. This is not his finest moment. We'll see in the replay. They even replayed this thing because he just totally whiffed. It looks like he's in good position, but really a half-hearted, kind of like barely touches the rusher who does a spin move, gets around him, and then makes the sack. So that was not great. All right, we got another first man miss and big chunk gain. 2nd and 10, catches a swing pass outside, and has one man to beat. A closing, looks like maybe a safety or linebacker, 42. So very well, I think could be a linebacker for UNC. Coming full head of steam. Durant has to catch it around his body and turn around with no momentum whatsoever. It wasn't the best pass. You want to, as a quarterback, you want to throw this ball, out here on that B, not behind him. So he has to spin around, catch the ball. But then he is able to get around this, this linebacker trying to come and tackle him. Just he does get a hand on him, but doesn't phase him. Gets about 12-yard gain. So that's nice. Now we're going to have later in the game, and that's just speed. That is just speed. We're going to see it from the all-22 angle. He has a beautiful hole here, straight up the gut. Linebacker can't quite get to him. And, you see, there's just nobody there was no safety in the middle of the field. So he was able just to split everyone. That still matters, a guy who's not quite as fast, he maybe doesn't get past that angle right there. And as you can see here, Durant, if Chuba Hubbard did that, everybody would be ranting and raving about how fast he is in the open field. But, Durant did this, split the whole defense down the pipe. Pretty easy touchdown. I think he would have scored from almost any distance there. We have a draw play here. Oh, and this is just gorgeous. This is really pretty play. We're going to see a replay here, a little bit more of a slow motion, but you can see multiple tools in his arsenal here. After he takes this draw play, you've got a free defender who's beat his block, and another looks like an end maybe coming around, although he's probably got the end beat. But he's going to have to make a decision about this free defender here. If he can get up the middle, there does appear to be a hole, but it's closing really quickly on either side. And so he's able, and that defender who I said was running free, he's right there. He's right there. He's within a half a yard or so of Durant, right as Durant is ramping up. He does a small little sidestep and does get around him. Now, another defender shed his block, blocks off the path. We've got another safety or linebacker. Looks like he's coming to fill a hole. So he's surrounded. Right now, Durant's got about a 1-yard gain. He's already kind of juked, the primary free defender who came in. And now he's surrounded. He's got a UNC guy right about to make the tackle here. But he does see, he's looking. He's looking over here. His 2 dark blue shirts on blocks. If he can make it out there, he can do something. So let's see what happens. He does it. He gets it outside, cuts it up the middle. And that's a nice little cut there. Honestly, if he keeps going outside, he probably doesn't get about 5 of those extra yards. Went backwards here. And here we go. So this is the play live again. Cut, outside. And then if he went completely outside, he probably loses, 5 yards versus what he got cutting up inside his blocker. I mean, this shows a lot of vision to me coming out around and now following that blocker inside of that blocker and probably gets another 5 yards. Otherwise, he's going to have to go out of bounds if he goes on the other side of his wide receiver. So that was UNC. We saw power. We saw not incredible receiving ability. I mean, those were both basically little swing passes, not necessarily elite hands, but certainly being used and able to convert once he catches the ball. We saw some poor pass blocking, and we saw some vision. We saw some shiftiness. We saw some patience behind that one line. So I think we're seeing a lot of nice attributes here from Mataeo Durant. And now we're going to look at the Syracuse film. We start here, 11:22 left. It is 7-7, Duke at Syracuse. All right, takes a hand up off the middle. Short gain. It was 2nd and 2, but he got 3.5. And, it's nice to see him convert a short yardage. He's not only a wide open spaces kind of guy. Here's a pass blocking rep. He gets hit there, kind of pushed back. I mean, that's not great. He got in the way of a guy. Quarterback got the ball off for completion. Durant up the middle. Again, this is scrappiness from Durant. It's up the middle here. This is not going to wow anybody, but he gets contacted here about a yard behind the line of scrimmage and ends up gaining, yard and a half, 2 yards. He fights forward, spins around, and is able to turn what could have been a negative gain or a negative play into a positive gain, even though it's minor. And again, for a guy who you look at the stats, you look at his listed weight and height, and you say he is not a power back at all. I'm not saying he's a power back, but he shows toughness and the ability to gain yards, after initial contact and break through some, arm tackles and things like that. So I think what he's doing here is pretty nice. All right. We are at the 35 or 33. Grant's about to get a handoff here. And up the middle, a juke. Oh, big juke. Broke some ankles there. And this is a weird decision here. He is in the open field. And basically gets out to where you think he could go the way he did against UNC and just split safeties. I think he could have maybe gotten to the end zone if he just really turned it on, but he almost tries to juke a guy. I'm not sure he needs to juke and ends up getting tackled. But let's see this from the all-22 angle. This is a gorgeous run. Up the middle, and 1, 2 safeties grasping air, another juke, hard juke outside, and he's just free, and he kind of just tries to juke and runs into a dude. Maybe he didn't see him. He was trying to take a longer angle to get to the end zone, and then he just was there. So that's one juke. Another big juke off to the races. Really shifty, very elusive guy here. I really like that. That was, I think, a pass blocking rep. Oh, again, kind of pushed back. We can see it again here. Kind of gets pushed back here. He's up at the top of your screen. But again, enough that the quarterback threw the ball. Got the ball off. He got in the way of a guy. We're not going to say he's awful. I mean, I'm not giving him an F for pass blocking. And this is a bit of an ugly play. We're cutting up almost every play, almost every touch, not saving just the highlights for you guys. We want to see what this player really is made of. I don't know what happened here. Something about the handoff. Looks like it was maybe a read option. Dropped, I don't know if he didn't take the ball, if the quarterback, dropped it when he shouldn't have. So Duke, I'm not sure they lost possession there, but that was an ugly play, busted play. Here's Durant again, taking up the middle. Look at that power. I mean, there are bigger running backs that do not score there. He's going to take this up the middle at about the 15-yard line, get met at about the 10, and doesn't stop his feet, doesn't stop getting into the end zone. I mean, I wouldn't say he carried a guy for 10 yards, but he was met at the 10 and I mean, look how quick that move is through the hole. I mean, you can see it on this all 22, and he's busting up through the hole here. Very, very nice burst. And then he just can't get tackled. That was nice. I mean, from a guy that you're not expecting a ton of power, we are seeing yards after contact here. Up the middle. Look at this. I mean, if A.J. Dillon did that, y'all would lose your minds. This guy's 195 pounds. He's met, let's see, 2 linebackers closing in here. This is 2nd and 4. He basically gets up the middle. We've got a blocker on the ground. They've busted their assignment. Otherwise, there should be a hole there. And we've got 2 backers coming in to just square him up. He is met by 2 players. Now, granted, Durant has a full head of steam. He had a nice hole, so he is running full steam ahead. He's met with 2 yards to go for the first down by 2 men, and he pushes them for about 5 or 6 yards. You know, we see other bigger backs not do that from time to time. That is a nice play for, what he could do at the next level and just what kind of player he is. He does not go down on first contact, regardless of what his size is. All right, we're on the 40-yard line. He's taken one here. Looks like kind of off tackle. Through a nice hole. Again, positive yards after contact. Got the first down. Not getting stoned, in the hole, which is nice. Contrary to that, you've got Deion Jackson here, who takes a handoff at the 3 and just gets murdered, basically, and doesn't even gain a yard. I want to just contrast what Deion Jackson just did, who's a senior and going to the NFL, to what we saw Durant do previously. This is near the goal line. Defensive tackle is blocked somewhat. He kind of gets free, but he is crawling. This DT is crawling on his knees in the backfield and absolutely smokes Jackson and pushes him basically backward. He doesn't even gain a yard after being hit, versus what we saw Durant do. So, I mean, I think that's pretty impressive, just to contrast that with what the thing, and we say, oh, it's just Syracuse. Oh, it's just UNC. They didn't have a great defense, but these are Division I Power 5 teams. Yes, it's not Alabama, but there are good players on Syracuse, quality collegiate players that can tackle a 195-pound running back in the backfield. And they did it with Deion Jackson, and they have not shown the ability to really stone Durant. And I like that. Here we go near the goal line for Durant. Cuts it outside, untouched to the end zone. Pretty sharp little cut there. We'll see it on the other angle. Makes a good decision. Middle's clogged up. We can see the tackle does get a nice seal. But it looks like, I'm not sure. I think that's supposed to be up the middle, but he just says, nah, quick cut, boom, good decision. And we're going to be on the outside. This was the 2-point conversion. It was a quarterback keeper. And again, we've got Durant up the middle. Guys getting hands on him, and it's a nice run here. Guys getting hands on Durant up the middle. Right now, it's pretty well blocked. I think this guy's probably taken care of. This guy's definitely blocked. We've got a safety coming in here. He looks like he's really not. That's not great position. He's like backing up almost. But we'll see here, a defensive tackle is getting hands on Durant with 4 yards to go for the first down. And just, nobody can really get him. So now we've got, that was Syracuse. We've got the Georgia Tech game here. And I'll just warn you, this is where we're going to see, Durant isn't a complete tackle breaking machine. We're going to see him get leveled in the backfield. Georgia Tech came to play this game. They were feeling feisty. I think they won the game, but they hit him pretty good and pretty hard a bunch of times. But we will also see some very nice plays from Durant. So here we are about the 28-yard line. Cuts it outside. Now, a tackle did get his hands on him, but he pushed him and cut him outside. But then he just got smoked by an incoming I mean, he had to cut it outside, but he just got kind of leveled with a body blow. We got a pass reception here. That's not bad. Again, reading the hole, getting there quickly, and then doing the best he can after that. So it's like a little screen pass. It's pretty well blocked. Finds the hole. Still gains 3 extra yards after contact to get the first down. And you like to see that consistently, and we do from Durant. Pass blocking, and now he's going out for a pass. Wide open green space here. And does get the first down. You know, he didn't do anything miraculous, but he got the first down even though a guy closed in on him before that yellow line. He still got across. Now we got an outside play. Again, tackling was just a lot better here. Either the defenders were just quicker or Durant may have been a half step slower this game. But he finds the hole. He does really well, but they're hitting him hard. I mean, that's a good tackle. And now he's trying to bust this thing outside. He's going to get dropped. Pretty much the first, I guess second lost yardage this game from Durant, but we didn't see that at all in the first 2 games. Georgia Tech just really played the run well against Durant this game. But look at this short yardage conversion for a touchdown. Not the most spectacular dive over the pile you'll ever see, but gets the job done, scores a touchdown. They felt that they could give it to this smaller back with 2 yards to go at the goal line, and he converted. Much like Deion Jackson didn't. Now, this is your play, guys. This is your play. Holy crap. That's a running back. That is a running back that just made a one-handed leaping grab over a corner who's complaining about pass interference. Sorry, dude. No, you just got schooled by a running back in a one-on-one coverage. So he's lined up out all the way wide. This is not a screen pass. This is not a swing. This is full-blown outside receiver. And it's basically a go route. Ball is pretty nicely thrown, but he gets about a step on his defender running this route. And the guy misplays it. He's got a step on him. The throw is pretty nice because he doesn't have to come back to it, and he just keeps fighting off, and a one-handed secure touchdown there. Just beautiful from a running back. I mean, that's really impressive. Oof, that's a car wreck. Rambling wreck here tonight. I mean, just another explosive hit on Durant. I feel bad. He got crushed here. And, honestly, though, here's the thing. And I show this because, yes, that's what it looks like when a 195-pound back gets blown up by a, massive defensive end. But the encouraging thing is that is kind of the exception to the rule in Durant's game. Yes, he got blown up a number of times at Georgia Tech, it appears, but these other games, he was the one delivering contact. And so I think there's some hope here that he's not, a rag doll out there, although Georgia Tech kind of made him look like that other than that huge pass reception in the end zone. All right, we've got to run a little outside here, finding some blockers. But again, Georgia Tech just had sticky hands. They were getting... they were not getting tackles broken against them. And Durant slips there, tries to get the first down. Again, just not the best running attempts from him this game. Obviously, he had the incredible highlight. And so here we go again, up the middle. Good hole and stuffed. I mean, Georgia Tech they just came to play. So that's your last play for Durant. We can watch it one more time. Up the middle, nice hole. 63, doesn't really get a hand on his block. If he blocks his guy, I think it's an even bigger play, but the guy just, stoned Durant. And there's some runs here that really do look like, he gets hit and stopped in his tracks. And so that's what you're concerned with the guy his size. But again, that wasn't the rule with him. That wasn't what it was always happening with Mataeo Durant. So in the end, I think he's a really nice little player, perfect for Sleeper Saturday because he's a rising senior. I don't think many people are really even talking about him at all. I did see one article on 247 just kind of Googling Mataeo Durant just to see if I could find any background on him. And they listed him as the best player on Georgia or the best player on Duke. The article was like, the top players that Georgia Tech will face this year on each team or something like that. And Durant was listed as the best player on Duke. It's probably accurate. And I think there could be something here. If he can put on, 10 pounds, I guess, might be asking a lot. If he can get over 200 at least, I think there's a 200-pound barrier we want to see. Tests well, he could be drafted next, 2022, I guess. I think he's a draftable player. I like what I saw coming from Power 5. He's not going to be completely forgotten. And if he, we'll keep track of him. Maybe he'll go to the Senior Bowl. Maybe he will get an invitation to the Combine. That's really what you're going to want to see. And then if he can show some track speed, some blistering speed at the Combine, people might overlook his weight a little bit. And, away you go. Then you're buying yourself some draft capital. And that's the path. That's what we're hoping for with Durant. Big season as a senior. Deion Jackson went to the NFL. So Durant should see over 200 touches, I would imagine, maybe north of 250 for that Duke offense. And, that could put him on the map. He goes for 1,400 yards or something like that. And, then we're talking about him in the next cycle before the draft. But you will have heard him here first on Sleeper Saturday. Also, keep in mind for DFS purposes, week one, if he's a nice price, we're going to roll him out depending on the matchup, I guess. But, in DFS, he's going to be the lead dog for Duke, and he's shown big playability. But he's not just, I saw more out of him. Honestly, I saw more out of him than I have watching Chuba Hubbard. Chuba Hubbard has that long speed, holes wide open, kind of like that the play where he was following his line and they were all kind of drifting towards the sideline. He hit the hole there. Chuba can do that. Chuba can go straight up the middle for a 90-yard touchdown run untouched. But I did not see a lot of Chuba doing some of the things that we saw Durant doing here. Some of the shiftiness, some of the vision in the hole, some of the ability to evade contact, and frankly, the ability to run through contact so consistently that Durant seemed to show. I really didn't see Hubbard maybe one time in 3 games. It was almost the reverse, right? So for Hubbard, I saw him like 1 or 2 times in 3 games or 4 games watching him, plow through a defender with a full head of steam. And the rest of the time kind of going down on contact, kind of getting, pushed over almost with arm tackles. But with Durant, I saw him do the bullying more frequently. And then, the Georgia Tech game, he kind of got thrown around a little bit more. But that, to me, is the lesser of the 2 situations with Durant. So it's almost like he's got a lot of the good things that Hubbard shows, plus more toughness in his running style, in my opinion, more shiftiness, more lateral agility, and more creativity for sure to me. He probably doesn't have the top end speed because not many people do, but I think we saw him show very legitimate speed to convert long touchdown runs when necessary. He had a long pass reception where he got behind the corner. He had obviously the long run against UNC, and he frankly had almost a really long run against Syracuse. I think if he just keeps running in a straight line, he gets there, but he made the choice to kind of try to drift outside and ran into the safety, if you remember that one. So anyway, promising guy. I actually really like Durant. I didn't know what I expected, because when you just play a guy on the stats and you're just looking at DFS, point totals, those can certainly be misleading. So to me, the tape really does confirm a big play guy who's got a lot of tools to work with. The only limiting factor is his weight at 195, and that is small for an NFL running back. That just flat out is. But Kenny Gainwell, last time we checked, was like 191. So, people really liked him. And so it's not out of the question that he can certainly rise. And when we see those weight increases in the late summer from the teams when they enter those new weights, Durant's going to be one of the first guys I run to. So that being said, that's Sleeper Saturday for you. Hope you enjoyed it. Stick with us, and you will get a new, basically, diamond in the rough every single Saturday from here into the off season. Subscribe at the bottom, like it, comment. We'll talk. Follow me on Twitter. I've just changed it on the bottom. No more underscores. It is Alfred JF. Real nice and succinct there. So search for me. And let's keep this thing going. And for Why Wait Till Sunday, this is Alfred. I will catch you next time.